A man is not necessarily considered to be valuable until he begins to do certain things, produce certain things, and so his value is tied to his achievement.
And as a man, when you are choosing a partner, do you choose a partner that values you? Because that's very important. If you value yourself, then you should get a partner that values you. Don't stay with a woman just because you are her ATM. If all you are doing is, oh, my mom is sick, you are the one paying the bill. My dad is sick, you are the one paying the bill. This happens, it's going to you. And it's just a relationship. You are not even married. You need to ask yourself, what am I doing in this relationship?
When a man withdraws from the society, it causes depression, and depression can also lead to taking substance, or into alcohol, smoking, and all that. For some, they see it as a coping mechanism for them to be able to take that within the scope of whenever the issue comes up and go right. From there, it can become a long time where even after there's a solution, you still find yourself doing that same thing.
First of all, try to have a conversation with someone. It's not easy to open up to somebody. I feel like it helps when you say something. No matter how little, you can start with one sentence and start with 2 sentences. But try to have a honest conversation with somebody. And let this person be someone who will judge you. Because you can have a conversation with somebody and they will judge you just by looks. Nigerians are so good at that. The way they will look at you like this.
Fine, one misconception is when you hear mental health, you think it's mental health. Even with mental ill health or mental health disorders, people still feel it's Western problem. Another misconception is when you have mental health issues, is the church you go to spiritual. For deliverance, they feel it's spiritual.
Yeah, my name is Adedoyin Samuel, and I'm a mental health coach.
Hello, I'm Dr. Williams Edet. I'm a medical doctor and the Director of Operations for the Elite Medical Team.
My name is Susan Adidara. I'm a psychotherapist.
Yes, my name is Sumilayo Kolawole. I'm a psychotherapist. The one thing I love about being a therapist is holding the space and making people feel comfortable. It gives me joy when I hear, I've never told anyone this before. That means someone trusted you that they can actually share.
One thing I love about being a mental health coach is speaking up for people who are voiceless, bringing awareness to people who are not, in the right frame to listen or care about what the mental health space is all about.
Okay, the one thing I love about being a therapist is the fact that it's a safe space where you can be vulnerable and not be judged.
I love everything about being a doctor, from the knowledge it takes, to the commitment it requires, and to the impact of my work. So some people go to work every day and they move figures from point A to point B. I go to work every day and sometimes I save 2 lives a day. And that for me is super exciting. The fact that what I do can make so much of a difference in the world that I live in is a big deal to me.
From your wealth of knowledge and experience, how do you define mental health and why is it foundational to overall health?
Hi, thank you. So mental health really is very wide. It's a very wide subject, but I'd like to just talk about a few hallmarks of mental health. First of all, you would talk about it's the ability of a person to attain his potentials while dealing with stress in a healthy manner, I'd say, and socially interacting with others, and also contributing effectively to a society. These are the hallmarks of a good mental health, and its relevance to human life is as much as oxygen is to a human being.
Yeah.
You really cannot function appropriately and even enjoy or have a good value for your life, which of course we'll talk about later, is the reason why you find that many people who are not in the best state of mental health proceed to take their lives, because it's not worth living without having a great mental health.
Yeah.
Well, to add to that, mental health can be seen as the overall well-being of one's mind. Like if before we react to things, I think what we hear, what we see, whatever we do, first of all, we think about it. Even though you don't think it, first of all goes to your mind, and then before you now react. So before anything can be manifested in the physical or in any other aspect of your life, it first of all goes to your mind. I think that's what I can say. It first of all goes to your mind. So if you're not in that state where you have a strong mind or a healthy mind, like you said, you cannot actually function well, both physically, spiritually, psychologically, every other aspect of your life. So I think mental health is very important. Being in a good mental health state is very important to everyone.
Yeah.
And you know, when people hear mental health, what comes to mind is mental health.
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct.
When they hear mental health, they'll feel, okay, maybe the person is sick and all of that. But I tell you, mental health is just about your overall well-being. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you act will all tell how you are. We all go through stress. How do you manage it? How do you socialize? All that tells how well or how strong someone is mentally.
Basically, just talking about that, how much more you can handle things that comes to you without breaking down and still function in the right way. So when you look at mental health in all its glory, let's put it that way, you can see it's just talk about how you feel, the way you act, and what comes as a result of all of these things. And it contributes to your well-being, because without mental health, you can't really function properly. And like what you said, a lot of people, there's a misconception of it where they hear mental health, they feel it's just like the madman on the street. And all of
Yeah,
that.
they
So
feel you're sick.
there's a wrong ideology about mental health, and that's the reason why people need to know that mental is still talking about your well-being for you to be able to function in the right way.
I love to liken mental health to a car. You know, we all see cars on the road moving. Even a lot of car owners don't even know where the brain box of the car is. And a car cannot function without the brain box.
Yeah.
If you park your car outside, you get there and the brain box is gone, except the car is towed or you get another brain box, it's not going to move. So a car cannot function without the brain box. The brain box, it looks insignificant, it's in a hidden place. That's exactly how mental health is not something physical, it's not something we can touch, but we feel it. Without it, we are not whole in any way.
How does physical and mental health interconnect in men?
So let's talk about it from the mental health first of all, to the physical, then I'll go from the physical to the mental. From the mental to the physical, somebody who is depressed, one of the things that you will likely find is that you have more sleep, you have less interest in activities. So more sleep, more sedentary lifestyle, less interest in activities, you're more prone to obesity, high blood, hypertension, associated with diabetes mellitus, associated with just about everything that's bad, really. So you also in that depressive state, and to cope with the depression, you begin to abuse substance. Possibly you might begin to take on tobacco and have a nicotine addiction that worsens your health. So you can see where this goes. It just keeps going on and on and on and on. And then from the other angle, physical health, you're in pain. You possibly have maybe psoriasis. That's not painful. That is painful. Painful, itchy, very terminal disease, something that's long-term and not quite of a solution in immediate view. Because of that, you go out less often, you interact with people less often, and soon enough, you're likely to be depressed because you're just not doing the things you used to do before. You're in long-term pain, you're getting no cure for the pain is consistent. Terminal pain can always move over to depression, can always move over to suicide reasons. And so these things are very interconnected. The mind and the body are two sides of a coin that must function together to have a great outcome. So it's not even as ambiguous as many might think. There's a direct link between how a person functions physically and how his mind state is at the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's just comparing how the level of your productivity, it determines how much more you're okay, especially for men. And like what you said, talking about there's this societal belief of a man being strong, and you're facing challenges, you're not really okay, probably as a result of loss of job or relationship issue and all of that. So the connection between how your mind functions also is directly proportional to how you function physically, your productivity. So the connection is very, very clear and very direct.
There is nothing like when a man is handicapped, you can't help yourself physically. It begins to affect your mind too.
Yeah, that's right.
And you find yourself lashing out, you find yourself acting irrationally. They'll be wondering what is wrong with you. You're feeling handicapped, that you don't want anybody to help you. And you just find yourself behaving in a way that everyone around you feel uneasy. So there's a big connection between mental health and physical health.
It's basically what the society or our families or our parents had instilled in the men. You know, you have to be strong. A boy falls down and stand up, be a man. At that tender age. And so most of these are also build-ups, you know, of childhood traumas and, you know, all those. Maybe they had a physical pain, probably their parents died or something happened, and they hold on to that, it affects their mental health. Or maybe they have, you know, a mental state that has been there, and it now comes out as a physical reaction on others, on their lifestyle and other things.
The moment people hear the word mental health, the first thing that comes to their mind is that, oh, am I mad? You don't colo, you know, things like that. No, mental health doesn't mean that someone is mad. Anxiety, as little as it seems, it can be positive. Anxiety is a positive thing. You know, it helps us function properly. But when anxiety gets to the point where it hinders us from functioning, that's a mental health problem. And there are ways to resolve it. You know, a lot of people have gone through what we call adverse childhood experiences. It could be violence, domestic violence that they experience. She mentioned that, you know, ordinarily in Nigeria, people believe that when a parent died, they don't think the children should mourn. They don't allow children to mourn. They just say, oh, she's a child, or they're trying to hide it. You know, a child has been seeing the father every day. All of a sudden, the father is no longer coming home. And people are gathered, they're crying, they're trying to bury, and nobody is trying to allow that child come to terms. They may say, oh, your daddy has traveled, your daddy has gone to heaven. So the child is not even allowed to mourn. And the child grows up, you know, just getting to know that this person I used to love, that used to care for me, is no longer there. And the person grows up into an adult, coming up with different negative attitudes. And people are wondering, why are you always angry? Why? The person can see, maybe as a friend, sees that, oh, my dad bought this, my dad did this, and there's no one to fill in that gap. And so you say, oh, you're a boy, you shouldn't be that. You're a man, you shouldn't be that. No, it shouldn't be that way. Mental health is very important. It's something we should all understand. It doesn't mean that the person is mad. It has nothing to do with that at all. So there are lots of it that we go through. Anger, for instance, when it becomes problematic, someone can't handle emotion. Anger is good because it tells you that, oh, something wrong to me. I don't like this. But when anger becomes a problem, it's when the person loses control. Everything, you know, it returns just violence and all that. So yes, so there's a clear difference between mental health. It doesn't mean that you're mad. Mental health can be something as little as you can't process something rightly. That is a mental health problem.
Something else is when people say depression is not real.
Yes, it's very real.
It's kind of like, are you serious? Depression is not real. I will not want to talk about my experiences, but yes, I know I've been in that place. You know, depression is real.
And anybody can be depressed.
Anybody, even children are depressed.
Anybody.
Yes, even children can be depressed. So that's one thing that people talk about, and it's like, no, they don't. You are not supposed to be depressed. Nigerians know they get depression. I think I've heard that before. Yes. But it's actually a real fact. Yeah. People get depressed, and this is also part of mental health and mental well-being, ill effect of mental well-being. So it shouldn't just be about the adverse effect anyways, but this is one of the myths or one of the misconceptions people have about mental health.
So like you said that Nigerians don't get depressed. I just know that some ailments that people will feel is Western problem.
Yes.
We are happy people. We don't have such here. So that's one of the misconceptions that people just believe when you're talking about mental health. Fine, one misconception is when you hear mental health, you think it's mental health. Even with mental ill health or mental health disorders, people still feel it's Western problem.
Yeah.
And you can't get care. So when the misconception, another misconception is when you have mental health issues, is church.
Yeah.
You go to
Spiritual.
for deliverance.
Everything is
They
spiritual.
feel it's spiritual.
Yeah.
But with simple procedures, with simple strategies and concepts, you can actually get through it. It's just for you to be able to, to be able to handle yourself and process situations.
A pretty common misconception for mental health is that anybody seeing a psychiatrist is mad.
Or a therapist.
Or a therapist.
Yes.
Yeah. Therapy has been considered initially or in prior times to be a Western thing. I think that's fading quite a lot now. We've had many people who come in for therapy willingly and of their own accord. So much of it is not at the same rate that you have in the Western world. It's gaining ground in Nigeria, and the whole conversation about mental health really is gaining more ground than it was in the years before in Nigeria.
The one thing I've noticed to be common in men's journey, in my years of experience now, is that holding back. They are not expressive. Even when they sign up for therapy, you still see them holding back.
What's the one sign or symptom of mental illness that you have seen in men over the years, either emotional behavior or either from the physical?
I think the common one is PTSD. Yes, post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, I know we used to say it's mostly in maybe all these military personnel, but there are people who have had traumatic experiences, probably as kids, maybe those who have watched their parents being killed probably by armed robbery or something, or those who have been in car accidents, they've watched people in car accidents. I've had one experience like that where I saw a guy was being beaten with machetes on his head at the back of a vehicle that was moving very slowly. And each time I remember that, it gives me this feeling. So there are people who have had that, and over time they've not been able to get over it. So I think that's one of such PTSDs.
Right, so very clear symptoms of mental health disorders in men would be aggression.
Yeah.
Would also be sequestration. So it's both ways, overly aggressive or withdrawal of personality. So men, when they're not fine, typically would withdraw. The idea is to withdraw to fix themselves. In a case where they can't fix themselves, they still stay withdrawn. Where it is unbearable and the stimulus continues, then aggression might be a response, because he has to speak back, basically, to the situation, speak back to the offending stimulus, and because he's not able to, like we said earlier, maintain himself under that amount of stress because the mental health is not as stable as it is, then he sometimes would lash out. So aggression is a very key symptom of mental illness in men, and also interestingly, withdrawal of personality is also another.
Yeah, so to buttress that, I think what I've experienced mostly in men is anger. You know, raising children, they are always told, a boy shouldn't talk too much. A boy shouldn't do this. Because you're a boy, you can't cry. Because you're a boy, you can't express emotion. So instead of men expressing their emotion, most of the time they bottle it up. And when they now have the opportunity, like I said, aggression, they become angry, and you're just wondering, just something very insignificant, and the man is very angry because he has lost control. He doesn't know how to, manage that situation.
Yeah, another thing I've noticed or seen in men is also depression, like you said. When a man withdraws from the society, it causes depression, and depression can also lead to taking substance and into alcohol, smoking, and all that. So it's really, for some, they see it as a coping mechanism, for them to be able to take that within the scope of whenever the issue comes up and go right. And from there, it can become a long time where even after there's a solution, you still find yourself doing that same thing, and it comes on and on, like the PTSD and all of that. So yeah, it's actually a good, it's actually a big deal in terms of what do you call it, mental health issues in men. Yeah, depression.
Okay, maybe I will mention addiction. Because some men are addicted to, to substances. Some gambling. Someone will use everything he has.
Yes.
And you feel, when we talk about maybe use of substances, there's a difference between problematic use and addiction. Some, it was during COVID, we knew that some is just problematic use. If it's there, they take. But someone that can sell everything he has to, so you see some men will be facing that, and it's a very big mental health issue.
Yeah.
Addiction, from different forms of addiction. Some is sexual addiction.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, wondering how, but the wife is, what is going on? But some of it is due to what they've gone through growing up and all of that. And in this space of you are strong, you're a man, you don't. So many men are bottling things that the only way to cope is to resort to substances. And when that is the only way it turns to addiction.
Yeah, that's true.
Are there specific lifestyle habits you recommend to male patients to protect both mental health and also physical health?
Well, interestingly, one of the lifestyle habits is also a potential symptom for people who are not mentally healthy. Exercise is always a great thing because when done correctly, it stimulates certain neurotransmitters and hormones that help you stay stable. At the same time, that's not to take away from the fact that exercise can also be a coping mechanism for somebody who is going through a rough time to distract himself from what's going on. However, if that had not happened to you first, then exercise in itself is a great lifestyle habit. I would say also goal setting and structuring the things you want to achieve, because when you have a purpose that you're chasing and that is important to you, a lot of times it helps modulate your response to stress. So I want to finish up with this project. I have something that's really bothering me, but I say I'm going to do this by 1 a.m. and I wake up and I'm going to do it. After a while, I'm less concerned about the thing that's bothering me and I'm more concerned about what I want to achieve. So having dreams that are realistic and structured are some of the things that would help you stay focused, because when you talk about mental ill health, it's not as though anybody wants to be. It's an inability to cope with certain things that have happened in the way that they have happened to you. So some other times, a distraction just from the things that you don't like is good enough to get you on to focus on the things that you do like and things that are helpful to you. So yes, having a purpose, having a goal that's right in front of you, that's structured, can be a way to keep yourself on the right track.
Yes, thank you. So to buttress that, I'll talk about journaling. Journaling is facts. I recommend it. I always tell everybody should keep a journal. So there's a popular quote that says the faintest ink is better than the best brain. I love that quote so much. That means no matter how intelligent, how brilliant you are, as a human being, gets to a point where, not because we forget, but the ability for the brain to recall certain things at certain time. That's where journaling comes in. So you talked about goal setting. You want to set a goal, write them down. Write them down. If we all develop the habit of journaling, if you write, you can wake up in the morning, you get inspiration, you write it down. It takes time, every day you write, I want to do this. Journaling helps us to be self-aware. It helps us to regulate our emotions. It helps us to learn how to cross our T's and dot our I's. When you journal, for instance, when you're talking about emotions, maybe something happened to you yesterday and you know there are things, experiences that we have that we know that I didn't handle this thing well. So when it happened, maybe when you're more relaxed, you put it into your journal. How did it happen? What did I say? How did I handle it? If you go back to that journal, give yourself maybe a day or two, even though you are the one that wrote it, you can easily see the mistakes. Oh, I shouldn't have talked this way. What this person said didn't warrant my response. Then you can now trace it. What had happened before that incident? What triggered my response? Why did I respond this way? So journaling is a very powerful tool that everybody should journal, irrespective of your age. Children, whether you're a child, you're an adolescent, you're a youth, you're an adult, everybody should journal. It's a very powerful tool.
So I just want to say something else, specifically for men, particularly, especially because this is about mental health for men. Being a man most of the time is a thankless state, right? There's something that a very good friend of mine would say, that only dogs and women are loved unconditionally. Right? You're born into the world and you're told that you're not valuable.
Wow.
That's not surprising at all. That's the natural. It's not whether you've noted. Is either you are introspective enough to have deduced that statement that has been made to you, or you are not. But the statement has been made to every man. A man is not necessarily considered to be valuable until he begins to do certain things, produce certain things, and so his value is tied to his achievements, and that's what drives the requirement for an achievement for men, and that's why men are more susceptible to depression than women will probably be, even though women are more diagnosed, because they are open to seeking help, because the world says we can help you. The world doesn't say we can help a man. The world says, what are you bringing for me? So a man is told that he's not valuable, which paradoxically is funny, because most of the value that's produced in this world is produced by men. The roads are built by men, the buildings are built by men, wars are fought by men. So the peace that you have in your country is secured by men. If you have security anywhere, it's because a man is ensuring that it happens. So on the flip side, even though there's that much value being produced by men, they are told categorically that you are not valuable on your own. On the flip side, a woman, she smiles, she's beautiful, she has done 80% of what she needs to be a success in some parts of this world, and in many parts of this world. So why have I said all this? I said all this because one of the things that you can actually do as a man to maintain your mental health and keep you healthy is to consistently put in front of you the fact that you are valuable. You are valuable. As a gentleman, you're 14, you're 15, you're 16, you're 21. Just being yourself by yourself, there's value in you. You are important beyond your money, beyond your status, beyond the things you've achieved, beyond the achievements of your goals. You are, first of all, but if you ever would be able to achieve the things that you think will make you valuable, it means you already were valuable before you achieved that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you are not somebody who is rightly minded, you cannot produce wealth. So if you're going to say that I'm going to be valuable after I produce wealth, the truth of the matter is that you were valuable. That's the reason why you are able to produce wealth.
Yeah.
So this rebranding of the mind for men is very key to maintaining their mental health, because I'll tell you, a lot of men break down because there's an unfair burden put on them.
Yeah, sure.
Pressure.
And beyond the unfair burden, it's not even just about the fact that the burden is there. When they do deliver, it's largely thankless. It's okay, so you were supposed to do it in any case.
That's sense of
Right?
entitlement.
So I'll give you a very simple thing. You're in a relationship, right? If the man provides from day one till the day the relationship ends, there's nothing special that has happened. If she buys you a pair of socks, though, if anything happens, she's fed your life. You understand?
Yeah.
So there's that imbalance. So the important thing, apart from the pressure, is the thank you.
Yeah.
The thank you, the appreciation that you have done well. Men seldom ever get that, even when they move mountains. So at this point in time, you have to be at lizard as a man. When you do things, you tell yourself, you know what, I did this. I moved this from here to there. I achieved this, and build the self-confidence. A lot of times in the world that we live in, it's even against the social norm for a man to build self-confidence or for a man to have self-derived confidence. It's against the norm. It's fought against, and you might not believe that until I give you a very distinct example. Have you ever seen a handsome-looking man, clearly handsome, like myself, say in a public space, "Oh, I look really good. I know I'm a very handsome man." If he says that publicly, what do you think will be the response?
Right.
You should do pride. Why should you
Yeah,
say that about
why
yourself?
should I,
You should let somebody tell you, let a woman tell you that. Flip side, let a woman come out and say, "Oh, I'm a very beautiful woman, I know." What will be the response? "Oh, bold, independent, strong lady,
Strong,
go
yeah.
queen." So a man is told that even if you are capable, even if you have value, never speak about your value. Never acknowledge your value by yourself. Never self-validate. Even though you are known to be valuable, someone else must tell you you are good before you're good. And that someone else is most likely somebody who wants to benefit from you and will not tell you that until you have done everything they want done in their lives. And I'm not going to mention a gender.
That's a great one.
I agree with Dr. Williams on that. To be very honest, women get a lot of compliments. You're beautiful, you're pretty, even when you know it's not true, so to say. And the women want to come for me now. But for men, you don't get that compliment often. You don't get that word on, you don't get that tap on the shoulder that you're doing well. They feel whatever you're doing is still gross underestimation of what is expected of you as a man. And that is where the problem is. So yes, men need to be encouraged. Men need to be encouraged. We need to say more thank you to men. We need to, make sure that men have more spaces where they are being valued, and as a result of that value, they are being productive to the society at large.
Well, I think men are going through quite a lot, quite a bit, and I'm quite the vocal one for that. I feel like, I know because I'm a man myself. So beyond the observational thesis, there is experiential thesis. Men are going through a lot, and men do need to speak up a whole lot more. Men need to have more value addressed to them, and men need to have more applause for the work that they do.
Yeah.
And that is why I always advocate self-care for men.
Yeah. I think
As
so.
a man, you have to take care of yourself. You mentioned exercise earlier.
Yes.
Eat good meal, not better together on the road. Be mindful when you want to eat. Say, "I want to eat." And sit, have time, especially men in tech or on the road. You are picking things. Set time for food, eat. Be mindful, enjoy your meal. Have your exercise. Quality sleep. Most men don't sleep.
Yeah.
Even when they are lying down, because their mind is always what next, bills to pay, what next, like you said. They're always. So try to have a sleep pattern. Quality sleep. Take care of yourself. No, you said you look good. Yes, acknowledge yourself
I
that
think
you look good.
That's true.
No, work for the money, spend it.
Yeah.
Talking about work for the money spending, it's more easier said than done.
Yeah.
You find a guy who is maybe 30, 31, 32. He has a net worth of, say, maybe 100 million, and it's obvious. You would find somebody tell him, maybe once or twice in a month, "You just get all this kind of money. You know they spend that money any woman. So you don't want any woman make you chop your money."
Yeah.
So it's as though if you have the money and you're not spending it on someone else, then you're not doing right with the money. If you have the money and you're spending it on just yourself, they're wondering, what kind of man are you? It's a waste. You see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You said it. It's a waste. Money that you worked for, money that you are the most deserving to spend. The idea is that if you're spending it on yourself, it's a waste. What does that tell you? That you are not valuable enough even for the money that you made.
Yeah.
So the only value that comes out of the money that you made is when you spend it on someone else or on something else that is not you. All of these are sublime communications that you ain't shit. Sorry about the French.
All right.
So that's pretty much that.
All right. So I do say something. It is okay for you not to be okay.
Yeah.
So many times you need to take the back seat. Yeah, we know that there's so many expectations from men in the society, family-wise. This black tax of a thing. You just have to be this, you have to be that. But many times you just have to take the back seat and reflect on your life. At times sleep, exercise, eat good food, and rethink. It helps you recalibrate, it helps you function well, and it helps your mind get back to its shape. Because when that is done, I think you'll be able to function well, basically.
So one reason why it's not easy for men to not be okay is because their value stems from them making things okay.
Yeah,
that's
it.
What I said.
Yeah, expectations.
You do not. Expectations. If you do not tell a man, if you tell a man he's not valuable until he has done, brought, provided that. So if things are not okay, the lady can sleep and say, somebody will come and take me out of it. And she is not judged for that position. It's not even about whether it works or not. She is not judged for having that position. Mm-hmm. But you as a man, if things are not okay, no one's going to come and pat you on the back. They may pat you on the back for the first day, if it's really bad. On the second day, the pat on the back is done. So you are not able to lean back and take that much needed breather that you need for you to now even make things okay. You are so anxious about getting out of a position where your value gets to zero. Yeah. Because now you are not. So it's back to the same thing. Brother, you are valuable because you are breathing. You're a good man.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I think to summarize, I would say we talked about prioritizing self-care and healing, mental healing, or being in a good mental state for people who have actually had ill health. It's not a one-day thing. It's not a 2 weeks thing. It takes time. It takes process, So patience would actually work. Be patient with yourself. There will be pressure every day. There will be expectation from you.
Patience and
be patient with yourself. You know where you're going. You know what you want to achieve. Just be patient with yourself, and everything will fall in place.
I think another thing, just to buttress what you have said, is that a lot of men don't love themselves. That's one thing you find with women. As a woman, I can look at myself in the mirror and tell myself I'm beautiful. I don't need to come outside in public and say I'm beautiful before I know that I'm beautiful. Yeah. So as a man, you can look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, oh, I look good. I'm handsome. So whether I'm bringing something to the table or not, it doesn't matter. And as a man, when you are choosing a partner, do you choose a partner that values you? Because that's very important. Does your partner value you? If you value yourself, then you should get a partner that values you. Don't stay with a woman just because you are at ATM. If all you are doing is, my mom is sick, you are the one paying the bill. My dad is sick, you are the one paying the bill. This happens, it's going to you. And it's just a relationship. You are not even married. You need to ask yourself, what am I doing in this relationship? Is that all I am here? Because that's not all a man means to me. As far as I'm concerned, men are valuable. Without a man, when you're at home now, when the man is around, there's a kind of security. There's a safety you feel as a woman. Yeah, so I don't support the fact that men are not valuable until they bring something to the table. No. What happens when, for instance, there are a lot of women that are footing the bill at home and you will never know? What happens to a lot of men lose their job? Anybody can lose job in Nigeria. In between that, the woman can fit in and the next party will not know. The family member won't even know. That's why when you are choosing a partner, choose rightly, because it even helps you to have a mental state. If you go out, you are coming back home, you don't have anything to bring. You have peace of mind that, my home is a peaceful place. I don't need to bring money to be valued here. I'm expected here. My presence matters. That's what matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So important.
Men don't love themselves enough. I agree. Partially. Okay, I want to say this from a personal experience. So I have one time until I break down and I don't have reason to do anything again. I keep on working. So some call me, you're a workaholic, you work around the clock, you don't even rest and all of that. And at some point, I got to understand that being there for someone is not really much. It's good, right? But it's not so much healthy as being there for yourself. When you prioritize self-care. So I think for that saying, it is true. Where men don't love themselves, a lot of men don't prioritize self-care, and it's actually, it's actually dangerous to their health, dangerous to their productivity, and by the time they tear down, it's always very, very, very disastrous.
What is the role of medical community in changing the narrative around mental health? And if I may add to that also, do we think the medical community plays any role in the in changing the mental health in the community?
Well, yeah, we play some role in changing the narrative on mental health, certainly. I don't know to what percentage that would be, but certainly it's a key role. First of all, we need more of a union or a unison between the actual mental health specialists and other clinical health practitioners. So that there's it's not, because kind of like right now there's almost like a divide. It's either clinical care. Okay, so we couldn't find any, your symptoms are not clinically aligned. These are psychosomatic symptoms. Once you have that documented, the clinician has shipped him over to psychiatrists, never to be seen again. When I say never to be seen again, it's an exaggeration, but you get what I mean. So there's that much of a dichotomy, and then I feel like we should work hand in hand. Referrals should swing from here to there and from here to there, and conversations should mix, because these things are quite related. And even in people who are not, end spectrum mental illnesses, not schizophrenia, no bipolar disorders, none of all that heavy lifting. So when people that are coming to your clinics are not being compliant with their medications, you may not know why they're not taking your amlodipine. You don't know. You've advised the guy for a long time. Sometimes, if you have this very firm handshake between clinical medicine and psychotherapy and mental health practitioners, you would find that they could come in very subliminal ways that are not necessarily overt mental illnesses, and vice versa, really. So we could do that much in changing the narrative. We could also make mental health look a lot more beautiful than it currently is, so that people realize for sure that when I'm seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist, I'm not schizophrenic, right? I'm not necessarily schizophrenic, right? So something around that branding would definitely, be a contribution from the medical industry, did I say industry or
space,
medical space, to accepting care for mental health.
Yeah, so I think one of the ways that we can do that is if every hospital we have a psychotherapy department where, like you say, you have prescribed drugs, someone is not using it, can you refer the person to therapy? Because therapy is mostly talk therapy. Then the person, you can now understand why you're not taking your drugs. Maybe I need to be in a particular state of mind before I take my drugs. So if we can get to that point, like you have said, if there's referral, so that link, we need to bridge that gap. The gap is just too wide. It looks like you are there, they are like north and south poles that don't meet. So really, it will really do us a lot of good if like every major hospital can have therapists work with them.
So I would say, despite that, bringing the two arms together, there should also be these regular check-ins between the therapist and the clinical doctors, right? Like the clinical doctor is still checking on that patient, even though the person is going through therapy, because somebody can be going for therapy and the person has been abandoned, like he said, from the clinical side, and this person will still not take that drug, even though the person is getting better through therapy. And there are still sometimes you still need to take your medication, right? So I think there should be that regular check-in to know that, okay, this is the progress of this person. So you say, okay, you can.
Another unpopular opinion, which I just thought about right now, would be that, medicine is actually a very stressful profession. Being a doctor is very stressful. Most doctors will probably benefit from a couple of sessions of psychotherapy. So I'm being serious. If we included routinely, maybe one session a month for practicing clinicians, whether you have a complaint or not, just go talk to the guy, right? If they found the value in their own lives,
they should be able to help.
They may identify more easily times when their clients would benefit from such sessions also. So that's just an out of the box suggestion. And if we do that, you'll find that there will be much more referrals for sure. Because first of all, the stigma in their mind will be broken.
Yeah, I
And
think
they'll
that's
realize
another
that it
thing.
doesn't necessarily require this person to be manic or depressed, full blown, for him to have a conversation with somebody who is a mental health specialist, and they would find the soft subliminal value of those specialists in holistic care. So, and I can guarantee you line up 10 or 100 doctors and do a mini mental state or some sort of assessment, and you find a fair enough percentage
can relate
needing
to
a bit of
that.
conversation.
My sister
Yeah.
is a surgeon, so I can relate
Yeah,
to
surgeons
that.
especially.
Yeah, but I still believe that doctors really play important roles. Or take for instance, the aspect of consultation, where you get to meet a doctor and ask what's wrong with you, how do you feel, what is this, what is that. Well, some patients they don't get to that vulnerability state of saying a lot. Okay, take it for myself for instance, I don't like drugs, or in quote. So many times when I visit a doctor, I tell them, please, in all your prescription, make sure you convert 80% into injection, so that I will have minimal, you get drugs and all of that. And many times it can be harmful to me, right? So it's from a personal state, right, where I just want to, I want it to go my way. It might not be normal, it might not be the right thing. But I believe of a shorty that doctors are really doing well. So another improvement is just this collaboration with a mental health mental health practitioners, or people who are in the same space, where we have collaborations, campaigns, and often give or prescribe, or give people these how should I put it down? I wouldn't say what, but what I mean in essence is where you have this collaboration between the doctor and other mental health practitioners. It really helps, and it really go a long way. But for sure, doctors are really doing well too, basically.
No, that's a good one. From the angle of collaboration, I see most HMOs now including mental health services in their plans.
Yes.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
I actually got a client that been to the hospital, complained, they ran several tests, and the doctor said, you know what is wrong with you? It's not medical. See a therapist. Because I wanted to know, he said, yes, it's my doctor that's referred.
Oh,
So, and thankfully, we have HMO that are now having, including psychotherapy in their plan. So you don't need to pay extra, because that's one of the misconceptions people have, that seeking therapy is so high, it's so expensive, you can't. So people are now, with that collaboration between the clinicians, the medical doctors, and so people can actually access mental health services.
If you had 1 minute to speak directly to a man struggling silently, what would you say to the person?
I'll say listen to her.
So I think basically I would say, first of all, try to have a conversation with someone. It's not easy to open up to somebody. It's not easy, but I feel like it helps when you say something. No matter how little, you can start with one sentence, you can start with 2 sentences. But try to have a honest conversation with somebody. And let this person be someone who won't judge you. Because you can have a conversation with somebody and they will judge you just by looks. Nigerians are so good at that. The way they will look at you like this. But try to have this confidence in someone. It could be your friend, it could be a therapist. They said there's a difference between a friend and a therapist listening to you. But try to have an honest conversation with somebody. Just to lift that weight. Holding things has weight too. To lift that weight for that period of time. I'll use myself as an example. I know we're talking about men, but I'll give an example. There was a time where I cannot say what actually happened, but I would just see myself crying. Either at home, my mom has a shop where I was helping her sell. When I'm in that shop alone and probably I've not had customers for a while, I'll just start crying. And while I'm crying, I'll have this feeling that somebody is coming. and I'll clean my eye. And that exact person will walk into that shop in a few seconds. So one day he saw me and he asked me, what is it? I said, nothing. To be honest, I don't really know the exact reason, but I'm very sure I was depressed for a lot of things. Probably the fact that I finished school, I had not gone for service. At the time, I was not working in my mind, the kind of work I expect. And the fact that I started university late, a lot of things I had carried. And when he actually sat down, we spoke, starting from the beginning. I could feel the, ease, the ease in my mind. So I think having an honest conversation from someone will actually lift up a big amount of that weight. Will help you you start being open, you start realizing what your problem actually is. The problem actually is, if you actually have one.
Okay, I would say another thing is, if the person in question is vulnerable enough to open up, I think that's where it was started, or where it begins from. You can all have everything in your mind, and you feel like you are scared that this person will judge you, and you don't just want to talk. So many times, so this is the way I approach many people that I meet. So maybe because I'm so experienced and I've gone through a lot in life, basically. So when I figure out that, okay, you don't want to talk and all of that, so what it feels like a big secret to me or to others, I just share my own story. All right, so I just share my story or the testimony after, I was doing this, I was at this state and all of that. There's this saying that says, when you tell someone that I know how you feel, you don't really know how the person feels if you have not been there before.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you tell someone that I know how you feel, make sure you have been there.
In that space.
So it will help you to manage the situation, manage the person, and also to give credible and lasting solutions to that problem. So I think it's all about that vulnerability, aspect of the person, either the victim or the person trying to talk and all that, because everybody wants to be tagged. When they say a problem shared, they said before is absent. But a problem shared is the talk of the community and all of that. Somebody you can share with someone, and before you see your question on Twitter, and everybody start talking about it. So it leads to more things at the end of the day. So that's it for me.
Okay, so I think I would say you don't have to be a man all the time. Learn to be vulnerable. If it means you need to cry, please cry. There's no way it is written anywhere that because you're a man you can't cry. You see, especially when it comes to losing loved one.
Yeah.
When we've lost someone that we love, when a woman is crying, everybody's around her, they're telling her, oh, sorry. But the moment the man begins to cry, everybody say, remember you're a man, remember you're a man. And I think that there's nothing like remember you're a man. If this is how you are feeling at this point, you want to yell, please look for a place, a safe space that you can yell and yell. You want to cry, please cry. There's nothing like, so the fact that you're a man does not mean that you were created in a certain way and you are so macho you don't have emotions. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, we all have emotions. So we shouldn't bottle up our emotions.
Okay, for me, someone is suffering inside or going through a pain or suffering in silence. I will just let the person know that you have a listening ear that will listen. Someone that will not judge you. A safe space, a non-judgmental zone. Your emotions are valid. Anyhow you feel now, it is valid. You are angry, it is valid. Yeah. You feel like crying, it is valid. Anything you feel, just express yourself. And by the time you finish giving your pep talk on, there's nothing you do now that will judge you and your secret is safe with me. That is another thing. I'll let you know that confidentiality, maybe because of what we do, is key. Because so many people want to talk, but they will hold back. Like, I don't know if you're the one that said it, that if I share, will my gist not turn to public knowledge? So by the time they have this understanding of this feeling that, okay, I think I can trust this person, you let the person know that, no, your story is safe with me. Everything you feel is valid. You see the person want to talk. And you can also say, if you don't feel like talking now, I'm just in this with you.
Yeah.
That they know that somebody care about them alone will give them that so-called that, okay, whenever you're ready to talk, I'm here.
Oh, that's actually good. It's also make me want to say this. It's also important that we talk about attachment style.
Yes.
So people are avoidant. When it happens, they just want to
Run
run away, like from people. It happens a lot.
Mm.
You know, you are close with someone and they just start giving you space for a long time, block your number and all of that. I have a friend. I have a friend now. Like for like almost 2 years, nobody heard from this person. I was like, oh, maybe this person relocated. I don't know. Just one night, I just got a call and like, what happened? And she started narrating the whole story and all of that. You know, so a lot of people can fall into that categories too and all of that. But I still really want to believe that another aspect where people don't really talk about a lot, but I'll say this, right, is aspect where you yourself, when you have relationship with God, I think that helps me really basically. When I'm with someone and when I start having conversation with you, before you know, the Holy Spirit told me much about you. It's a word of knowledge. So that thing you are holding, once I tell you something about your life that you've not shared before, I think you have that confidence to open up with me. And you know, oh, this person, how do you know this and all of that? So I think that brings relationship, and yeah, you can be able to penetrate into the old person by just saying that. Yep.
All right. My camera on me. Better be. Listen to me, brother. Take what they say with a pinch of salt. Never stop being a man for your long-term joy. I'll tell you that. Cry where you need to. Cry when you need to. Ensure that both the where and the when are 80% private. I'll tell you why. We're not in a perfect world, so I'm going to have to give you advice that is necessary for the world that we live in. We are hoping that we'll build a world where men can be unpainfully vulnerable publicly. But unfortunately, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
If today, 2025, you cry in front of the woman who you love, if you do it twice, thrice, you will cease to be the man who she loves.
That's if you get it twice.
After some point, which would further make you more depressed than whatever it was that made you want to cry in the first place. So no, don't stop being a man for most of the time. But be a healthy man. List out for yourself consistently the things that you do. You're a logical person. Most men are very logical. So you can tell. List for yourself all the things you know that are great that you do. You make mistakes, you mess up, you flop sometimes, that's fine. Most people are so tuned, especially men, to all the things that they're doing wrong. Every time you do something wrong, doesn't matter, consistently make a habit of listing for yourself all the things you do right, even when you do things wrong. List the wrong ones. I did 1, 2, 3 wrong. List the things you did right. Most times you'll find out that those lists are much longer than the ones you did wrong. And sit in those things you did right. Talk to yourself about those things you did right. Meditate about those things you did right. Put them in front of you. Let them be your focus. When you do this consistently, whether or not the world tells you you're valuable, your logical mind will come to the conclusion that you're quite a great person and a great person to be and be with and be around. Half or more than half of the mental problems of a man come from this unfair, undue pressure and zero thanks. If you do this, you would have reasons to thank yourself. You would have reasons to be grateful to yourself. You have reasons to be proud of yourself, which do not require outside validation.
Yeah.
With this, you would have beat the system. You would have hacked away from the need for others to say you're great for you to feel great. And once you feel great, most of the mental health problems fade away. The rest of it you can handle because you're big blood.
Yeah.
So that's one. The second one is, yeah, medicine is nice, but we'll be the first to tell you that we don't know all the reasons why the bipolar guy walked through the door and the schizophrenic became schizophrenic. So yeah, maintain very strong spiritual base. You have to. This world is clearly more than the physical. This world is clearly more than the mind, and the mind feeds off the same way the body feeds off of the mind. The mind feeds off of something else, which, in my words, I would say is the spirit. You need to have a strong spiritual base as a person. And well, my strong spiritual base is Jesus, so I recommend him to you.
Okay, but I think there's something you say that I do not agree with. That when you cry once, twice, thrice in front of a woman, she's going to see you as being weak. No, I don't think that's the case. If, for instance, I walk in here and I'm meeting you for the first time and I see you crying, number one, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be surprised. What will be making you cry?
Let me help you out there.
Okay.
I said, there are two things I've said.
Yes.
I said, in front of a woman that loves you.
Yes.
That's one. That's very important
Yes.
in what I've said.
Yes.
Secondly, you have to understand that whatever I do say is talking about the statistical majority.
No, I understand.
So there would always be flankers. There would always be outliers. But if you look at the statistical majority, and if you talk to more men than women, they will let you know that this is a valid problem. Maybe when you have two testes, we'll come back to the conversation.
What do you think is the future of men's mental health in Nigeria, or should we say Africa in general? And what role do you think the initiative My Health Matters plays? That is MHM here.
Okay. Surprisingly, a lot of men are coming out more. They're speaking out more, especially this Gen Z. I love them so much. You know, something small happened to them. They just say, "Okay, I think I need to talk to my therapist." Just they want to make this decision. So the energy that they have, even though we see a lot of them doing the wrong thing, but I also see a lot of them, they are very intentional about the way they are living their lives. So I think there should be more awareness about mental health, where we can, how they can access mental health. This misconception that, oh, it's too expensive, I can't, or there are no therapists. A lot of Nigerians living abroad, when you tell them there are therapists in Nigeria, they are like, really? Are they really there? And I say, yes, we have qualified, certified therapists in Nigeria. So there should be more awareness so that men will know that it's a safe space. It's a space where you will not be judged. No matter what you are doing, what you have done, it's a space where you are vulnerable. And men should also know that it is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to be weak. The fact that you're a man doesn't mean the macho, you have all the strength all the time. No, it's okay to have a shoulder that you can lean on. It's okay to have a listening ear, someone who will listen to you, who will not judge you.
Yeah, basically.
So with that, I think I'll also talk about having support group meetups. Like at Stilt, where I volunteer with, we usually have monthly support group meetings.
Yeah.
So we are not much. Even if we are much, even if we are many, it will still help. But you know that idea of sitting down and just relating with people who, I would say, have similar issues or have had similar issues with you. You're just talking to them. They are sharing their experiences. You're sharing. You're just like they do for alcoholics. Yeah. So you can see, you can actually have support group meetups. You know, for the future of this, for now, I'll say it's still slow. It's still a gradual process. But if it can be sustainable, whatever measure that will be taken, if it can be sustainable, it will be very productive, you know, for men to actually have that safe space that they can come out and either talk about their mental health or advocate for others. You know, they just have that space that they can bring other people together.
Yeah, I would say the future is bright for men.
Yeah.
And I really have my reasons for saying so, because I could remember while growing up, when you check most of gatherings, irrespective of whatever they are doing, you have more of women and all of that.
Yes.
But when you look at this present age and time, the density in terms of turnout in a place for programs has really improved. You have a kind of a balance now where men wants to learn, men create time to be in meetings where they will learn and how to build themselves, build other people, and improve the society. So I think it's changing, and we are having more of men going into this mental health space, learn more to also help others. And I think that's a good one for the mental health in Nigeria and even Africa as a whole. Then other things that can also help is support group meetings, campaigns, awareness, creating more safe spaces for men where they know. Then another thing is a faceless conversation or a platform where sometimes men want to talk, but when they look into your eye, that kind of thing, be like, why would I be looking into a guy like me and be saying all of these things, So if we can have a faceless platforms where we can just do voices, right? We might not see them. We're able to, improve a lot about that. I think that will really help.
Yes, I really like that part. Creating more awareness, campaigns and all of that. Creating platforms, like what you said. You have some men that are known, big names, but this aspect of they know me. How do I do it? But when you have platforms, there is a platform that everybody, you choose a flower to represent you. Nobody knows who you are. They only know you by your the flower you picked, and you're able to express yourself.
Yeah,
you're able to. The future is really bright for Nigeria. I was taking account of my sessions last year. I don't think I have a male client, but this year, maybe the first quarter, at least I could count 5.
Oh, that's great.
In 30. So that means, the awareness is growing, and we're having advocacy. We know every time mental health month, mental health awareness month, a lot of programs are going out. People are talking. Men are actually coming out. It can only get better.
Yeah,
it can only get better.
Yes, I think another thing is that women should also be educated. The way we handle men, our expectation to men, I'm sorry I'm saying this because I'm a woman, but I see some women, especially single ladies. Okay, if I'm in a relationship, if you don't buy me Brazilian, you have not arrived. If you don't take me to your eyebrow this, if you can't afford this, if you want to propose to me, if you are not proposing, all the charade they do now to propose, then you have not arrived. If you don't have a particular car, you don't live in a particular environment, you have not arrived. No, it shouldn't be. Then even as mothers, you see mothers, they are comparing their sons. Lagbaja did this, what have you done? It's not until the man brings something to the table before he becomes a man. And it should not be that it's 100% responsibility of a man to carry the whole world. As women, yes, we call ourselves the neck, but are we really supporting the men? The way we speak to them, if you see a man crying, can you just calm down and listen to him and know why he's crying? Can we as women be the shoulder that men can lean on? Can we be the one that can tell them it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay, to be weak, you don't have to be strong every time? Can we as mothers stop telling, because as I'm speaking, I found myself guilty. I have a son that is 9. Most of the time I tell him, you don't have to do this because you're a boy. You are the man. When your dad is not around, you are the man of the house. So sometimes I'm asking him to lift things. And when he lifts it, he's looking at me, I can't carry it. Sometimes I'm saying, just to know you're a man, you have to be strong. So even me, I'm talking to myself because I think I've become more intentional. The way I handle him, I think henceforth I'm going to be conscious of telling him, oh, you're a man, you're a boy. Even though he's just 9, I'm expecting, that's just the way the society is.
Yeah, that's it.
There's a lot of pressure on men, societal pressure, you're expected to be this, expected to be that. So I think as much as we are trying to create the safe space for men, the women, without the women, no matter the space you create for the men, because if a man has gone out for training, he has been told, oh, validate yourself, you are this. He walks into the house and his wife tells him, you are stupid. or his mother tells him you are nothing, whatever training here is gone. You know that. So as the woman, can we be mindful of our words?
Yeah, that's
when your spouse, your partner, your father gives you something, can you learn to say thank you first before you now say it's not enough? Can we learn to cut our clothes according to our size and not want to fit into a particular, because that's where the pressure is coming from. Can we manage and love the men because they are men? You know, love the man because, oh, this is my husband, he's a father figure, I need him in my life. When he's present, I feel safe, I feel secure. Is that enough? As long as a man is not irresponsible, as long as he's not the kind of man that wants to sleep, he doesn't want to work, he wants to eat. That's all that matters in a man. Can you support his dream? Can you be that backbone, that person that will tell him, you are going to make it? Even though today it looks as if, oh, the sky is not bright enough, the weather is not clear. No, it doesn't mean it's going to remain that way. So if we as women can be the support system for men, it will really go a long way.
Right. That's amazing. So that's amazing, really. I feel like giving her a Nobel Prize. Innit? So I just want to close with or end with this. Now, it's not entirely wrong to pattern men a little differently from the way you pattern a woman, because at the end of the day, they are not the same. Right. I think the issue here is the detachment of value from the man while you're patterning him. So you're a man, you should do this. But even when you do not meet up with XYZ, you're still a human and you're still worth what you're worth. So the detachment of value is where the problem is, one. And then two, the absence of relevant applause. That's where the issue is, because your boy still needs to lift heavy stuff. Yeah, but relevant applause when he does it. Let there be a place where he knows that I am welcome whether I lift this thing or not. But it is great that I lift it because it increases my capacity. A man should be capable, not only for himself, but because the society depends on it. Imagine if you have a society, e.g., let me give you an example of, let's say men were just one particular profession. If you had a society without doctors, then you have no healthcare. In the same way, if you have a society without men, all the things that a man produces in a society will be absent. So it's important that the men stay manly, right? Because I'm not going to be a party to any message outside of that.
Definitely.
It's important that the men stay manly. But the issue that we've had so far is the removal of value from them while they're staying manly or until they do certain things, and the absence of applause when they do the things that they ought to do. You bring the applause in, a man can go through so much stress and it's not the stress. And that is even probably one of the most important things. If you bring the proper applause, the proper recognition for the things he has done, a man can do it till he dies. He will not be dead by suicide, I promise you. He will be dead by exhaustion rather than dead by suicide. He will do it till his last breath goes. But when there is no applause, proper applause for the level of value that he brings, then this begins to set in. And then also when it is communicated to him that we don't want you except for what you do, that is also important. So those are the two major things that I, as a person and also as a man, have identified as a problem to men's mental health. I want to say thank you to MHM. You guys are phenomenal. Even the ability for us to have this conversation is a major leap in the mental health of men and all across Nigeria. I want to say thank you. You guys are amazing. And let's hope for a part 2.